Hello, thank you for joining me today. So today I'm not going to be doing reading on a missing person or anything. As you can see by the title, the spiritual manifesting into the physical. So today is just going to be me talking about something that I've been wanting to do a video about for a minute, but I was hesitant on doing it. But I decided to go ahead and do a short video on it anyway. So we all in the United States here, especially. I don't know about what other countries are experiencing, but I'm sure it is in other countries as well. But what we have been seeing lately is the shift that has been a long time coming. And like the title says, everything happens spiritually before it comes into the physical. Just like they say, as a man thinketh, he is, something like that. But what that just means is that once you process something into you or manifest something into your soul is what manifested into your reality. So your reality has to happen inside. You have to see it and materialize it mentally and spiritually before you can bring it forth to the world. And so that's basically what is happening now. All these things are spiritual that we're seeing happening now. And so there's nothing that you can really do to stop what's happening from happening. Now, I'm not saying that you can't get out there and be an advocate, an activist, or whatever you want to do. That's on you. But what I'm saying is things have to happen. It's a cycle. So whatever has to happen will happen. So anyway, now as far as I'm just going to talk about what I see. So what I see is the shift of power. I see a shift in dynamics, and you can see the pushback from it if you pay attention to it. If we step out of the political and the emotional aspect of a lot of things, then we can see what is actually shifting because we see one thing and then we don't connect it to a larger thing. We're just looking at individual things and we're not connecting it to the larger scale of things. And what I've noticed is, I'm trying to say this in a way so people won't get offended, but people won't get offended, no matter how you say it, somebody always going to be offended. But I'm trying to figure out a way to say it so you can understand and hear what I'm saying without being offended by what I'm saying. But it's a shift in power dynamics, and it's already written in. And the power dynamics that I'm going to say is not what you think it is. A lot of people think it's a racial thing, and it's not, even though it looks like it is. And it's a fear that is coming behind it that is pushing a lot of the things that we see happening around us. It's the fear of the shift in dynamics. And it's not even racial, like I said, even though it's playing out racially in some aspects, it's not racial. It's energetic. It's energy. It's the energetic feeling of it. So when we see these certain, well, let me say this first, and it's not going to seem like it's going to go with it, but you'll understand it once I finish talking about it. But I'm older. So I remember this show back in the day called Dallas. And in Dallas, it was the father, the Ewings, okay? So the father had an oil company and he had that company, when his kids were little, they grew up, they were rich. And so the father built a legacy with the Ewing name, and the Ewing name stood for something, and they had all this money and power and influence. Okay, so the father got older, he passed it on to his sons, JR. Okay, and then you have Bobby. JR was in there, okay, and so his father let him run the company. But after a while, it started to be JR wasn't running the company as he needed to run the company, but he was using the father's name, influence, and the power of the name to bully his way and force his way into spaces that he couldn't get in on his own. And after a while, it was like, we don't like how this is going. We're going to get Bobby in here. So they wanted Bobby to replace JR. JR didn't like that. And so what JR said, and this is the only thing that matters, he said, I will let this company go into the ground before I let Bobby, his brother, take over. Now that one line just shows you his mentality. He liked the power and influence that he had, but he didn't know how to really do it in a democratic way. He used bullying and influence. Okay, so the point is, he would rather run the company into the ground and let it fail than to lose his position and give it to his brother. Just keep that in mind. That's what I'm about to say. Now you have JR right now. That would rather run the country into the ground, or what run the nation, the earth, whatever, however you want to put it. Because like I said, I'm only talking about here, but I'm not saying it's not anywhere else. You have people who would rather run this place into the ground than to let somebody else take over or be in charge. Okay? So, with that being said, we know who JR is, okay? And we know who Bobby is. It's not racial. So, JR, so I'm going to use this as my talking. I'm going to talk about it like this. So, JR sees that the dynamic is shifting, and he is scrambling to do what he has to do to maintain the power, no matter how it plays out around him. No matter what happens, it's to maintain the power and the influence. Now, JR and who I'm talking about is not one specific person's per se, but then you have a person that is your spokesperson, and they are doing the talking for the collective. They are the representation of the collective. And so now that they see that the dynamic is changing, there's nothing that they can actually do to change it, but they can destroy things in the process of the change. Okay. And so, like I say, we cannot stop anything that's happening is going to have to happen. Things have to fall. Kingdoms have to fall so better kingdoms can replace them or stronger kingdoms can replace them. It's in history. There's nothing that we can do to stop them because if we could, then the kingdoms of past hundreds and decades of years ago would still be standing if that was the case. So now, like I said, this is not racial. It looks racial, but it's not. Now let's look at what we see as a lot of it's a it seems like a battle of sexes, but it's not a battle of the sexes. It's a battle of energy. So, like I said, spiritually, internally, people can feel things even though you don't see it yet. But you can feel it in your spirit. Like I said, I felt it in my spirit. This was blah, blah, blah. You can feel it in your spirit that something is happening. A lot of people are feeling things happening, but they're looking at it in a different way. They feel it, but they're interpreting it in a different way. Oh, it means this. No, it doesn't. It doesn't mean that. And that is what I'm saying. It's not racial. It's not man against woman. It's not race against race. It's not that. It looks like it, but it's not. And we have to accept the fact that it's coming. And a lot of the things that's happening, you can't engage with it because there a lot of things that are happening is to lower your frequency. Because the lower the frequency is, the longer they can linger. If you raise your frequency out of the lower frequency, so what I'm saying is, once you take yourself out of that energetic frequency, that the lower level frequencies, once you raise yourself out of it and to see above it, then it won't affect you as much. And I'm not saying that we have to turn a blind eye to what's happening around us. I'm saying understand why things are happening, what is happening, so you won't get emotionally attached to certain things. And if we do that as a whole and not as individuals, a lot of the things that's happening won't happen. But if you have people trying to hold on to the old way, you got people trying to hold on to the power that they have, you got people trying to hold on to the bias that they have, you have people trying to hold on to whatever is old instead of accepting what is new. Is always going to be the imbalance and the power and the chaos going on. So it's going to be the push and the pull. Once you look above and look at the bigger picture of what's actually happening, then you will understand and not take it in the way that they're presenting it. Everything is written down already. That's why they're pushing. They already know it's coming. They're trying to buy as much time as they possibly can. They're doing everything that they possibly can. Because some of these people are looking at it in the wrong way. It's not what they think it is. A lot of things are shifting and it's shifting for the better. It's not shifting for the worse. It's not going to put one person on top of another person and it's going to make these people this way and these people the other way. No, that's what they want you to think. And as long as you keep thinking that way, you're going to stay in the same loop that you're in right now. You can't rise above anything with hatred in your heart. You have to have love in there. And what we're seeing now is a bunch of hateful, evil actions and behaviors. And that's why we are in the loop that we're in. And they're going to keep putting us in loop after loop after loop. And then every so often, you pay attention. Every so often, your body and your spirit and your soul, however you want to put it, feels it every time. But then they distract you with something else. Every time they want to do something, they put a fear tactic out for you. No matter what it is, it's either related to your health, safety, or your well being. One of those. It's an emotional thing that they're going to put out to you because the emotions are strong. So they're going to put some type of fear into the atmosphere. No matter what it is, your survival is going to be something about your survival because the human instinct is to survive. So anytime your survival, your root chakra is put into jeopardy, then people panic, people get scared, and then they push the next thing that they want to do onto you for your safety and your benefit. This is for your safety, okay? This is what they're telling you. This is for your safety. This is for your survival. We have to do this. And then you accept it. So, like I'm saying, understand if you understand what is actually going on, then you will separate yourself from the fear that they're placing in front of you, from the scare tactics that they're giving you, so you can elevate yourself, so you won't get caught in a loop. JR is just out here as the puppet. And he's doing what he is supposed to do. He is doing what he was placed there to do. He is doing what is required of him to do. Because if you think back, people can't just do what they want to do unless they're allowed to. So nothing happens unless they're allowed. They are being allowed to do what they want to do. And they're allowed to do it because of the fear that people have, the fear that has been put in people's heads. Look at this. Watch this. See that? Every so many months, and the closer it gets to something that they're trying to implement or something that they have to do, the more fear tactics they put out, the more things they put out to emotionally distract you. And like I say, it's connected to your root chakra. And if you know about your chakra, you know the root chakra. If your root chakra is off, it doesn't matter about the rest of them, because if you don't have your foundation in place, just like a house, if you have a faulty foundation, it don't matter how good the house look up on the top. Once that foundation shifts, the whole top falls down. So if you don't have a strong root chakra, which is what is the root chakra even about? If you look it up, okay. If your root chakra is not balanced and it's not intact like it needs to be, anything can shake you. Because that's the basic of what you need. That's the foundation of what you need in order to activate the other chakras. You can't see what's spiritually happening if you worried about what's happening with you right now in the present. When your root chakra is not in place, you always in a state of fear and a survival state of mind. You're not worried about love. You're not worried about opening up your heart. You're not worried about what's going on, speaking up about other stuff. You're worried about yourself. What am I going to eat? What am I going to do to survive? Where am I going to sleep? Where am I going to do? So while you distracted with you and your emotional well-being, all this other stuff is going on around you, but you can't focus on that. So, getting back to what I was saying about the shift. So, like I said, it's not racial, it's not gender. A lot of feminine people, let's say it like that, a lot of the feminine energy is rebelling against the masculine energy. And it's not because it's a gender war, it's energetic. It's like I say. So it's going to be the rise of the feminine, the divine feminine energy. It's time for, and if you look up, because I believe I did a video on divine masculine and feminine a while ago, and a lot of times I do videos and it may be spaced out for months, but if you go back and watch them in order, you'll see they're talking about something I already said. And I want you to put it together. And I do it like that sometimes on purpose. But anyway, if you look up what a divine masculine and a divine feminine, I did a video on it. Go back and watch it. And it's telling you what the energy of those two are and how they are when they are imbalanced and how they are when they are balanced. What the divine feminine energy represents is what is coming in. They hide a lot of things from you, us, because they don't want you to have your eyes open. Because if you have your eyes open, you can clearly see the games that they play, and you can see fully the dynamic of what's going on and what's happening. And if you open your eyes, you will understand your own power that you have to change the things that are going on around you. We all have that in us. We all have the power in us to make the changes that needs to be made. But if you have been brainwashed, or if you have your eyes covered up, or if you have been falling for the whoop de whoop, then you don't know that. You think you only have the power for yourself. But as a collective, if we all come together, remember the ant story? If we all come together, that everything can shift. It's more of us than it is them. And that's why they want us always divided. Because if we come together, then they can't control anything. That's why they say, oh, we're here for your safety and your well-being. We're here protecting you. From what? What they're causing? Okay. So, like I said, it's not anything that we actually need to be. Now, change is scary, especially like a fixed sign. We like things to remain the same, like me. But once you acknowledge and accept certain things, it won't be scary if you understand what it means and what is happening. And a lot of times the fear comes from you not understanding what's actually happening. You just see things happening and you feel like you don't have no control over it. And like I said, we do, but we don't. So, like I said, a lot of things are written already of what's going to happen. It's right in front of us that we can see it, but it's disguised and we don't know what's happening because they're telling us one thing and we're seeing it as one thing, but we're not understanding the true dynamic of what's actually happening to us. So I don't engage with a lot of stuff. I try not to focus on a lot of the things that they push out because I know it's a mind game. I know it's a energetic thing, a spiritual thing, and it means that two things are happening. You got two faces, two minds. So I'm telling you one thing, but it's something else. Two-faced person, they tell you one thing or they act one way with you and another way behind closed doors. So they're telling you one thing, but they're doing other things behind closed doors. So they're letting us believe one thing, but they actually know. They know what's going on. We don't know because we ain't tapping in to figure it out. And then y'all listening to these people to telling y'all that y'all don't have no power, y'all don't have no, they try to minimize it by saying superpowers or all these other things. It ain't nothing about being a superpower. It's your God-given powers. And if y'all say that God don't give us powers, if you read your Bible, y'all like to say y'all into the Bible, go to church. In the Bible, it says that it's other people who have abilities to do different things, but it's how you use them. Because they had people back in the day using psychics, using divination for greed. Okay. He didn't say nothing about them using it. He said don't use it for greed. What are you using it for? Because he gave us all powers and abilities. And if we come together as a whole, that we can use them. Like he explained, I don't can't give you the exact wording, but it's like we got hands, we got feet, we got eyes, we got arms, and we got legs. And if we separate each one from the body, what is it for the body? So once you connect all those pieces, that it can work together as a whole. So once you get all these people that come together as a whole, you can function as you're supposed to function because he gave us all special abilities. But then you'll have people talking you out of your abilities, talking you out of but then you'll turn around and do the same thing in your church and give all your power to your pastor, give all your power to somebody else. So we have to come together. That's the main thing that it is. And it ain't to be out here running in the street. Well, like I said, I'm not telling nobody what to do. I'm just saying I ain't doing it. That's not what it is. It's raising your vibration spiritually. Getting out of the lower frequencies. Dark, hidden things that need to come to the light. They're hiding some things. They're hiding things from us. See the two-faced, two minds, the dark. That means that, like I said, telling us one thing, doing something behind our back because they're trying to keep things hidden in the dark from us. You see, pay attention to everything. Ain't no coincidences. None of that. And like I said, your spirit, soul, whatever you want to call it, feel it every time. And they can feel that everybody's starting to realize certain things, so they throw something else out there to throw everybody else off. Now you paying attention to that. You'd have forgot about what your soul was trying to give you the nudge to pay attention to, and now you're paying attention to what they're doing and what they're talking about and what they just did, what they put out for you. Pay attention to your body. Your body gonna tell you every time. That gut feeling, that tingly feeling in the back of your neck, the uneasiness that you feel, whatever it is, whatever it is for you, whatever it is that you're feeling in your body, you can feel it. It'll build up over time. Like you start, I just don't, something just feel off for me. And then this day, and then this week just been off. Like those feelings. Something ain't seem right when I went in this place. When I talked to that person, I felt such and such. That's your body telling you. That's the gift that they don't want you to use. So pay attention to your body. It's signaling you all the time. But then when you disregard it because, oh, that ain't true. We don't have those abilities. That's why a lot of people out of here now because they don't pay attention. So pay attention to what your body is trying to tell you because we are connected to the earth. We're connected to all this. So it's like we're picking up what the earth putting out. The earth putting it down, we're supposed to pick it up. So pay attention. Pay attention to what you feel. When you start feeling that, block everything. I don't care what it is. If it's not a mercy to your family, block that out. Everything that's going on around, and pay attention to your surroundings. Pay attention to what you're feeling. You need to go in somewhere by yourself and go in a room and meditate, sit quiet, something, so you can figure out what it is that's going on that they're trying to do. Because what's trying to happen and what it's trying to signal you to pay attention to. Because it's something that's going on. That's why your body is giving you the signal that something is off. The fight, see the internal battle? Things happening internally, your soul, your spirit. Internal battles. Okay? So like I said, it's still, everything has to come down. So like I say, it's a spiritual coming down to the physical. And that's why everything feels so off, the weather off, the timing off, the months flying by faster, then they'll slow up. Everything off. 300 degrees today, 20 degrees tomorrow. All that stuff off. They tinkering and tampering with everything they could think of to adjust their time. Sorry, time is up. The time is up. So, like I said, go. I done made a couple of videos going back since last year. I believe I done made some videos, and I done told y'all little bit by little bit what you need to be doing, paying attention to for yourself. They know. They know what's going on. They ain't gonna tell us. And they hope you, that's why, they hope you stay off kilter, stay off balance, so you won't pay attention and pay attention to the things that they want you to pay attention to. All these cloudy days, they don't want you to get none of that sunlight. They don't want you to see that sky. They don't want you to catch that moon. They don't want you to catch the moon. They don't want you to, basically, they don't want you to see what's going on or what they doing. So I ain't gonna stay on here long. Like I said, this wasn't supposed to be a long video. I just wanted to come on here and say something really quick, And like I said, go back and watch some of those videos that I put out last year. You have the power. I can't think of the name of them right now, but it's like 3 or 4 videos, and I think the last one I did was about the divine feminine and the divine masculine, along with the age of Aquarius. I can't remember what I named it, but anyway, go watch that. Then listen to this again. So, like I said, they got some things that they know what's going on, that they hiding, and some things internally they know what's happening. And then you got these two coming out about this, okay? The harsh treatment, the bullying. The bullying is just trying to force somebody into something, to do something. Okay? Trying to force something on somebody. This is the harsh treatment. The harsh treatment to force somebody into something. Because this came out first and then I pulled this. So they know what's going on, but see, this is what they're using to force us into something, to do something. That's what bullying is. Somebody forcing you to do something. Something gonna come out of nowhere. Okay. So that is it. You leave comments in the comment section. Thank you for watching.